Well, hello and welcome to Sunday Night Coffee Talk. I know we'll just give it a minute for everybody to join and then we can start our conversation. I see Carrie is the first one on. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, so I think it was evidence that today I thought I would start talking about, tuna steaks, something that we don't talk about real often. And the other thing tonight, I'm sorry, Carrie, this is not a Carrie-friendly beverage, but we got our monthly Javi subscription, and this flavor is the cookies and cream. So I'll be interested in trying that because that's a flavor that can be good, but it's very easy to be questionable. So let's see. Oh, Carrie says he's not sure about the video. Seems fishy to him. We need to bring in Scooby-Doo. Hey, Coda Bear, good to see you. So, yeah, so... Oh, there's no sound. So no one has any sound? Not sure. Give me a minute to see if I can troubleshoot it. Oh, okay. Okay, Carrie, you're having a speaker issue. That's good. Everybody else has sound, and Attila has sound in all capitals. So, hey, Just Jason Keto. All right, so tonight I have our monthly delivery from Javi Coffee Concentrate, cookies and cream flavor. So that's what I am doing. And for those of you who don't know, we got the subscription. I don't know, sometimes, it is what it is. Because we actually liked it, and every so often, why not? So let's try it. It's just 1 teaspoon. I'm making it iced today, so like easy peasy. And then we will talk about the rest of the excitement. I like to rinse my spoon off before I don't want to miss any of my coffee concentrate. But cookies and cream, it's such a difficult flavor, so I will be interested because the chocolate can go wrong, and then balancing the flavor of like a cookies and cream filling, that light vanilla, it's hard to get into the coffee and then the coffee flavor. And Tutu Cat has joined us, and Ricklin is here. Good to see everybody. Brenda is here. So, and it is. Tutu Cat mentions that I've got a nice fancy piece of tuna here, and yes. All right, so let's see. Look at that. Gosh, I had to work so hard for my coffee today. Oh, wow. You guys, it's really good. Now, of course, I've inhaled it. Now, excuse me. So I hadn't tried it yet, but Attila asked if he could have some this morning. I'd be interested in what he thought about it, but it's pretty good. Oh, they got it. I'm telling you, this Javi company and their coffee concentrates, if you just need something easy peasy for once in a while, it's pretty good. They've got a good thing, and like I said, and I cannot recommend the job. I thought it tasted bad. So let's see. Oh, and Lynette has joined us in the middle of feeding Jessie now. Ooh, chicken crust pepperoni pizza. That sounds so good. I have like a pizza craving. I'm gonna throw this concentrate back in the fridge. Like I love pizza, and I've been like wanting some, but I don't know why. I think it's just because no real reason. So what I have here is our tuna steak. Look at that gorgeousness. And it is a wild-caught yellowfin tuna. So, and then I also have some sesame seeds here. I also have some radicchio, half of it was like a little softball-sized radicchio. And I took out the little core, and half of it's back in the fridge. and this half is here because we're going to sear it off in the skillet as well. Salt and pepper. I also have a little bit of a dressing, and I knew I wanted the flavors to marry a little bit, which is why I didn't save it for here. But the dressing, it's just olive oil, tarragon, lemon juice, salt, pepper, Dijon mustard, and some chili flake. That's it. So yeah. Oh, and Attila says that he thought the concentrate was good, but he didn't notice that much flavor. But he was also inhaling the coffee. So, well, yeah, we'll talk about the adventures this morning too. So this is for after everything's cooked. I like it with the radicchio. So that's it. And I think, I don't know, years ago I used to read these recipes and stuff, and I believe that they call it a vinaigrette, but there's no vinegar in it, and so I just call it a dressing. But technically it would be in that family, you know, because it's not a vinaigrette. There's no vinegar in it. Lemon juice is acidic, and I will tell you most of the recipes add like honey or maple syrup to it, but I find that I don't even want to use artificial sweetener, that I like the tang and the brightness brought by the lemon juice. Let's see, and Carrie says, asking if I can make a radicchio salad without any radicchio. That would be radicchio-less. Oh my goodness, that was a good one. So let's see. And then Attila said he didn't know there was going to be a test. It's not a test. So let's talk about the tuna here. So first of all, gosh, it looks great. It's so nice. I'm on this thing though with the fish because it's been stigmatized in keto and carnivore communities. For some reason, people have got it in their heads that fish is no good for them. And some of it is the popularity of restricting, which I am not always on board with. I'll try it for certain reasons if there are periods where I need to do some special things, or I've got a struggle and I need to diagnose, where I'm having problems. But even if I were to be 100% carnivore, I would still eat fish. Fish is not bad for you, and fish is a meat. Yes, fish swim in the water, but I thought I would start here with the elephant in the room, tuna, because people love to vilify tuna because of mercury. And I don't really understand that food vilification in that way, because I think if we're going to start picking apart, we have to really think about the whole science of the thing as well. Technically, you could, I believe, they said the human body, we can handle 1 microgram of mercury for every kilogram of body mass. So there's 2 kilograms approximately in a pound. So if you are 120 pounds, and that's pretty tiny, you could eat 240 micrograms of mercury. And this beautiful, glorious tuna steak has 60 micrograms of mercury in it. So can you give yourself mercury issues? Yes, but you would have to be eating for an extended period of time. You'd need 6 or 7 of these every day for months before you would do that. The people in the original study that all of the mercury alarm came from were eating whale point, which doesn't have some of the same properties that the ocean fish mercury has, and we're going to talk about that nerdy stuff too. And then let's see what we got here. Carrie says, So I can't read that one. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to pass on that. I can't read it. It's for whatever reason it's like chopped up. So StreamYard. So let's see. And Carrie says it's not over till the fat tuna sings, and it will in our skillet. And then Rickwin says she likes ahi tuna, but canned tuna is a no for her. Not that it's not good, but she ate bunches of it when she graduated from grad school, and it was all she could afford. Ate herself out of eating tuna. Yeah, we'll talk about canned stuff in a little while, but. And then Carrie's asking if this is sushi grade tuna, and I'm going to say absolutely. We could cut this up and eat it raw. And then Lynette says she loves fresh tuna and all seafood. And Coda Bear says everything in bulk kills you. In fact, everything will kill us anyway in today's polluted, messed up food world. True. And I think if you are going to start really diving in and vilifying fish, then you got to start looking at our other meats and talk about ingredients in meat in general. And I don't want to do that because I love my meats and I do think that they are good, healthy food. So I want to talk about the tuna, though, and ocean fish and mercury here. So, hey, Keto Simple, good evening. So the thing about the tuna in general, we'll set it on top of my dressing so we can see its gloriousness here, is that in general, tuna is like super healthy. It has selenium, and that's going to bring me back to the whole mercury discussion. There are studies that are completed that does not make it scientific law yet because they want to do additional studies, but they've been showing, and when I talk about the people where the original study where they found mercury toxicity from people eating mercury-laden fish, again, that was whale point fish and not in an ocean environment. Those fish did not have high selenium levels like tuna or other ocean salty fish. Selenium and mercury are paired bonding partners. And that selenium is also a healthy mineral that you need in your body. It helps with, by the way, thyroid health. So really important, especially if you are a middle-aged and older woman. Selenium is like super important for your mental function as well. But that selenium bonds with mercury and works to break it down. So it's either going to go to your bile and be removed or absorbed into a manageable format for your body. So the hysteria and the absolutely rampantly wild vilification of eating tuna, don't worry yourself about it. Now, if you are eating low-grade canned tuna 6 or 7 times a day and you're doing that for months on end, okay, maybe you need to really think about what you're doing to your body, and then it could become a problem. But that's the same thing. Oh, and the warden says that's why Heath eats eggs in for selenium. And good evening, the warden and Hungry Heath. What are you guys cooking for dinner? So, but yeah, so if we want to feel better about the mercury now, we can also talk about some of the other amazing things with the tuna. So tuna is high in B3 and B12. So again, we're back to that whole, when you follow a ketogenic diet, it's often difficult to get enough because of your B complex vitamins, especially 3 and 12. So your body's often looking for them, and you'll find sometimes if you indulge in something like a tuna steak, you're going to find that it's extra delicious because your body's craving that. It's also super high in omega-3s, which is, again, really beneficial to our bodies. And the other thing is that it is also really high in vitamin D, bioavailable vitamin D. So, and it has the amino acids needed to help you with that bioavailability. So, if you're in the Midwest, you should know that about 85% of our populace in the Midwest is vitamin D deficient. So you want to be mindful of that, and especially because we're not supplementing by dairy products or drinking too much gross milk. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't say that because some people really enjoy milk. I don't like milk, and I never have. Cat. So look how big she's getting, you guys. She's growing. So let's see. Oh, and let's see. Oh, and Sharon says 2/3 of the bacon is wrapped and ready to rest until tomorrow, and 1/3 still to come up to temp. Homemade bacon, delicious. But yeah, and the warden says she loves tuna steak, but you don't buy much because ching, 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 and that is true. It's an indulgence. So, yep. Oh, and Sharon just posted a bacon pick. Well, I assume a bacon pick in the Hungry Heath group. So let's talk about this. I'm going to heat my skillet up, of which I've got beef tallow in here, and we're going to really fire it up and get it really, really hot. And let's go ahead and season up the tuna, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. So we're just going to do salt, pepper. I like a lot of pepper, so you may need to ease up on that. You could do whatever you want on here. That's just my preference. Flip it over. Wash our hands. Always a multi-step. I probably should have just put some gloves on, but did I? No, of course not. So we're going to wash our hands like a dozen times here. Probably not really actually that much, but you know what I'm saying. Because we've got to touch it a couple more. So generous salt. We love salt, right? And then more pepper. Thing about tuna, we're going to talk about why I'm cooking it here in the skillet, is a high quality wild caught tuna is, you don't need to really do a lot of cooking for it. It needs a hard sear pretty much on both sides, and that's it. So that's why we were able to chit chat and talk for a bit. Hungry Heath, I'm not going to put gloves on now because they're back behind the camera. So anyways, it's all right. There's nothing wrong. It's good that you see me wash my hands anyways. Let's see. And then Lynette's asking me whether I enjoy halibut or tuna steak more. I am equal on those, but I will say that the really healthy benefits and the bioavailable D3 in the tuna really makes it, and also it's got more fat. So I think that might tilt it from a health standpoint, but from a flavor standpoint, they're both very delicious. So I also have roasted sesame seeds. I've got the regular white sesame seeds and the black ones, and we're just going to take those and crust our edges in the sesame seeds. I get my corners. I almost tore the steak. No. All right. So now that I've got that nice sesame, and if you don't eat seeds, don't put seeds. And now we literally just need that to go for 2 minutes. So, and at that 2-minute mark, we're going to go ahead and then we will flip it. And it's going to go another 2 minutes. Get rid of these. And we are going to get that salt and pepper and season up the radicchio as well. It's a little harder to do the radicchio because, you know, I didn't oil it or anything first, which you can. But that's all right. Enough will be on there to just give it a light flavor before it goes into the tallow. And you can always add more later. But again, these are super simple flavors. But radicchio is strongly flavored in and of itself. It's a little bit peppery, and a very earthy flavor to it. So again, it needs an easy treatment, and so we're going to go ahead and toss this in and give them a nice little sizzle and char as well. There we go. Dust my salt and pepper off my table counter here. And check it out. We're ready to flip the tuna steak already. And it's a pretty big steak, so we might find, no, it's beautiful and glorious looking. So we're good. So let that radicchio go. It just needs 2 more minutes. That's it. The warden says she can't find any radicchio. None of the stores have them. They just started showing up in our store, so you guys should probably get some soon. Frequent says she can hear the sizzle. I'm glad to hear that. That's good. You guys, I'm enjoying my iced coffee tonight. Mama Bear says, did I just say sizzle and char? That sounds like a fabulous name for a steakhouse. Ooh, you're right, it does. However, I personally do not ever want to open a restaurant. Phew, what a commitment. Look at my cat just laying in the sun, you guys. Happily, slight little tail wag. Isn't that the life? So, but yeah, so it's like, I just really wanted to show that because I want people to know that you can eat these things. And if you don't like fish, then you don't have to eat them. But if you are shying away from things like tuna and stuff because you've heard of mercury poisoning or you're afraid of that making yourself sick, or you've heard, you know, that somebody's saying that it's bad for you, I want to assure you and make sure that we are paying good attention. I love learning about the selenium breaking, you know, bonding with the mercury, and really just giving a lot of good reassurance about eating the tuna. Do a quick flash on these edges. All right, I'm just going to let this sit for a second while my radicchio finishes up. I like to get it on all of the sides. Oops, this one fell apart. Oh, darn. Get some extra char in there. That's fine. It's fine. It's just some lettuce, right? Bring our lovely radicchio over here. I mean, and look at this. So also the other thing I'll just say, like, if you think about it, look how fast we made this really nice meal. There are plenty of times when I spilled lettuce on my dressing. There we go. We talk about how hard it is to have to cook all the time, even though it's good for us. And look at that. This literally took us like minutes. And it was pretty easy. And the only thing I did for prep ahead today was make this little bit of dressing. So let's see. But let me show you. I'll bring it up close. Then I'm gonna do it twice. I'll bring it up close so you can see the cooked meal. Lovely. And then I will cut the tuna in so that you can see that for the most part, it's basically almost raw inside. And I want you to know that that's 100% okay. I caution you on overcooking tuna. It's a very firm fish. It's meant to be served this way. Let me see if I can put it, well, I'm trying to fancyfy it to show you. I don't know. Oh, look, you can even see it from here. Look at that. So you can see inside. It's not cold though. It's warm. Like if I touch it, it's not cold. It's warm. I don't know if you guys need to see it up close or not, but I will bring it around because I feel like that's something I should do. There you go. delicious. And lots of people will tell you that you can cook tuna any temperature you want, but I assure you that if you cook this fully, well done all the way through so that it is gray all the way through, that when you eat it, you will be choking it down and wanting some kind of sauce. Often that's kind of one of the reasons that a lot of people don't like fish, is because they've only had it overcooked, and that does make it fishy in a not a good way. Like fish tastes like fish, so you know there's some level of fishiness regardless, but that's what's going to give it that extra not good fish taste. The overcook is really unpleasant, and it gets super dry really fast. And just plain and simple doesn't taste good. So throw that in. Let me get a little spoon for my dressing. Throw some over the top of this radicchio. I may want more later. Depends. Sometimes it's just nice. But I'm just saying, it's a lovely, really nice summery dish. And by the way, it was like 75 here today. It was supposed to stay cool and be rainy, and instead it was glorious. Look at that, you guys. I'm just going to show this plate off because it's so beautiful. You can't go wrong with it. Carrie says he can see it all the way from Texas. Looks like a wonderful tuna. Barely Begun says he's had a at-home omega-3 test kit saved in his Amazon cart forever, but knows he should eat more fish, so he's never he never buys the test. So yeah, honestly, you probably good. You just eat. You can eat more fish if you don't like fish. I think what I'm gonna do. It's so good. It was such an indulgence, but oh my gosh. I know I can't eat tuna like this all the time, but it was so good. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to do fish for the next few Sundays, a different kind each week. We could just sear it off and cook it in the pan like we just did. Maybe we'll put some in the air fryer. Who knows? All kinds of shenanigans. And just talk through like all the different kinds of fish that we can eat and enjoy to help add variety to our food. So yeah, that's a big thing here. So it was a pretty simple evening, right? Okay, so the radicchio is also nice and delicious because it had that beef tallow, and then the lemony dressing just brightens up its earthiness. And Tutu Cat says she's surprised I don't have cats begging for tuna in the kitchen right now. You know, a little bit, me too, but also they're well fed and they know that they're not getting table food out of me, so they tend to not push it as much. Sharon says it got all the way to 83 where she's at. It was amazing. And the house is open. Lynette says her son really enjoys fish too, but she always has to put a sauce on it for him. What kind of sauce do I think would go nicely? Oh, you know what would be great? Béarnaise or Hollandaise. Hollandaise, Béarnaise is the same thing as Hollandaise, except for you add tarragon to it. So, but yeah. And Barely Begun says Ichika is not fulfilling her catly duty. You know what? I'm okay with that. She can conk right out, and that makes me pretty happy that she's being good. Harry says his church was celebrating their 40 years of ministry, and they couldn't have picked a better day today for them. Yeah, I think it was like gorgeous all around. Stunning. So, for those of you who do like fish or eat fish, which other fish come to your mind? I know a lot of us eat salmon because salmon is, and wild caught salmon is generally more easily accessible. Admittedly, fish can be pricey, and cheap fish is often not as beneficial to our health. So you have to think about it. But sometimes I think, you got to do what you have to do. Just like when we tell people, if you are in a struggle and, don't get caught up in thinking you have to have grass-fed, grass-finished bison every single day. Some days it's hot dogs and mustard, as Dr. Berry says. So some days you get in the farm-raised tilapia. Okay, it's not the end of the world as long as it's not your everyday. But if it's all you can do, then it's all you can do. And it's still better for you than eating processed junk food. And Mama Bear says, although it's not a fish, she really loves scallops. So, but it is seafood. And the warden says she can repeat again about wild snapper. So, yeah, I was going to make a snapper next week maybe because I have a fillet in my freezer. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous one. It was wild caught and then flash frozen. So it'll be so, so good. And Coda Bear says he wants to see footage of panda massage tuna. Is the panda in scuba deer? Yeah. And Carrie says he likes mahi mahi. Oh yeah, mahi mahi is another good one. Yeah, and Mama Bear says grilled red snapper is delightful. It sure is. Actually, I'll eat snapper cooked anyway. It's so good. And Carrie likes to eat all kinds of seafood. And the warden wants some snapper ideas. Another fish that I'm really fond of is trout. Particularly rainbow trout, but I can't get that here in the Midwest. I used to have rainbow trout while we were growing up because we would be able to fish for it ourselves. And I don't know, the trout up here is just not as good. Sharon also says Chilean sea bass. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. So, yeah, so I'm forgetting what else I was trying to say. I got lost in my thoughts there. So, anyway, so what did everybody do this weekend? I'm curious. Yesterday, we went to friend's house to help get some convention work done. So I went through supplies and found all the things that we need to order so that we can actually have everything we need for convention. And then we did foam weapon construction. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here in the comments. Let's see. And Carrie says, last time Emerald was on the TV, they brought in mahi mahi, and it took about 6 people to carry it in. Oh, yeah, they're big fish. And then they make a lot of fillets out of it because they're only like this big. And I'm like, but it is delicious, and it cooks up lovely. Oh, Lynette says, growing up in Missouri, everyone has catfish, but that really does not appeal to her at all. Oh, I like catfish, but I don't see it very often. And Barely Dunn's asking if I finished our alien cosplay yet. And the answer is, have we started making that flamethrower that we need in just a few weeks? No. So next weekend, in a big rush, we're going to have to get started. But I also, next weekend is our first SikaiCon mini event. We're doing a mall run. We have a contract with FYE. So we've got a little booth in there and a special vendor who's going to be coming and doing some deals. And then we get to have a little cosplay contest in one of the Japanese restaurants. I'm going up early and having lunch at at Tokyo Grill, where I'm going to have some sashimi and a bowl minus the rice and shrimp that's going to have chicken and more tuna. So should be very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I know people are excited to go and just like wander through the mall and wear their cosplays. I'm gonna wear some garb minus my wings because the wings feel like they'll be a menace trying to wander around the mall. But you can't really go wrong with big, comfy, cottagecore inspired pants and a Renaissance chemise shirt. And as far as comfort goes, that's the winner. So, but yeah, no, we've not finished cosplays yet. We really need to get going on it because we're so far behind. Then Rickwin says Friday night was her cousin's birthday party at a seafood restaurant. She ended up with a flounder and some popcorn shrimp. The place is not keto in any way, but their seafood is excellent. I love flounder. That's another good one that we'll do. And Carrie says his weekend was busy with church. Friday night he went to work after midnight he turned 52. Oh, hey, happy birthday. As per usual on this channel, my gift to you is not singing. Trust me on that. I'm sure other people can, maybe our awesome moderator, Attila, will validate. You really don't want me singing happy birthday to you, but best wishes. Oh, you got money from your cousin and food and cards from church, and then you had church today, and now you get to rest. That sounds lovely. Rickwood says Sunday I was working in the flower bed, trying to clear out the weeds and grass. Maybe a hopeless task. Yeah, ours is all, my bee area is a hot mess. So I'm going to have to get in there on my hands and knees and start really pulling out grass and weeds, grass and weeds, weeds and grass to clear out, and also cull some of the mint because, mint is very prolific. And so it'll take over if you don't kill some of it off on the regular. Carrie says I could have sang. I'm like, I trust me. I am tone deaf. It's bad. I have many talents and a lot of knowledge about many things, but singing is just not one of them. And then Carrie says, you know why bees' hair looks so good? Because they use honeycombs. So the bees are one of my favorite part of my patch. I've got lavender, mint, and bee balm flowers in that area. And it's to the side of the driveway, and I made basically like little brick patches, rectangles. And then like you can move in between the rectangles. So one of my favorite parts though is when the lavender comes up in it and it's got like the big wavy lavender heads, and the bees love it so much that they weave through the mint and then they land on the lavender to feed and to gather pollen. But they're fat by the time the lavender is at full bloom. So you see them just like swaying because the lavender can't hold their weight. And that's like one of my favorite parts. So, and Rickwin took advantage of 3 days of rain, so the ground was very wet and it was easy to get the grass out. That's smart. I don't know if we're going to get the rain that they said we were. I'm really going to be upset if it delays and we get the rain tomorrow, because we didn't go on a bike ride today because it was supposed to rain and we had a lot of chores to do. But so we were like, well, after work tomorrow, we can hop on bikes and go for a big long ride. Not too long because limited time during the week, but you know, we could easily go 20, 25 miles, no problem, and be back home in time for bed. Carrie says he grew up with bees when he was a kid. His dad would smoke them and he was suited up and still got stung. Yeah, that does happen, but you know, it does calm them down. After the bees were stoned, he was there just eating the honeycomb with the bees wailing on him. Well, they don't usually mind when you take some of the comb. That's unusual. But yeah, you can't really eat honey anymore with your teeth and gums. That's normal. Also, you know, it's really high glycemic. So, and with the kind of issues that you have, you know, the reasons that you eat mostly primarily carnivore, honey would really be a hard cell to go in there. Mm. Sorry, you guys, I'm gonna eat some of my dinner. So, chat amongst yourselves. Mm. It's really good. So, anyways, what else were we talking about? Oh yeah, so we got this event, and then I mentioned we had a lot of chores today, and one of those was to go to the Home Depot, because basically, as I'm preparing for con, you know, I have my leather press and my leather punch tools on my table. And then I've got like grommets and I've got stamps and everything is just like everywhere. And they don't really have like a good place to go. So no matter where I move or take them, they kind of wind up, it's just kind of messy. And like, it was getting frustrating to be cluttered and messy with all my leather stuff. And so we actually spent the money, even though it kind of hurt. You know, I was like, oh, expensive, but I got a rolling toolbox set. So I went with DeWalt because it just seemed to have what I needed the most. And so now all my tools can go in there, and in the bottom, in the big container, I can actually get the foam divider insert so I can cushion my tools and they can go in there. So not only does it tidy it up here at the house, it's now more safely portable to conventions. And, you know, like I said, when we go to Origins, we have workshops that we do. We make leather dice trays, leather badge holders, leather D20s, and then we do a convertible crochet dice bag. It's super cool because you crochet the dice bag, but then you can loosen up the strings and it folds out into a little dice tray, similar, like smaller, but with an edge on it like this so that your dice can roll nicely. We do a chainmail dice bag. Some years we do chainmail bracelets or pendants. And this year we're doing the wire wrap D20. So if you've seen like those little necklaces that have like the little swirly and then it has a stone or a bead or a toy or a crystal, it's like that, but only we're putting the D20 in it because it's a gaming convention. So, you know, you got to have your fancy dice. And let's see, I feel like that's all of what we got this year. Oh, and then of course, we do foam weaponry. So we teach people and we have them construct a LARPing compliant foam sword or a shield. So It's a lot of stuff. We really put on a lot of good stuff at the show, but it's also a lot of crap to cart back and forth. Plus, you have all the decor, and we use pop-up canopies. At night, we do a thing called the tavern, where there's a lot of role play, and we do a thing called tea dueling, which I can't do because I have celiac and I don't eat cookies. But if you haven't seen tea dueling, I'll tell you about it here after I eat this one bite. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see, Barely Begun says he heard recently that the smoke makes bees afraid of fire, and they start eating their honey in case they have to flee. It made him feel bad for them. But rather, they felt stoned instead. So I will say beekeepers do use smoke, but they don't use it a lot. Modern beekeepers are very cautious about the smoke. They usually only use it when they have to do relocations of swarms, because swarms can be very aggressive and they're in a traumatic state anyways. So they do sometimes have to do that if the bees have become aggressive in that kind of fashion. But a lot of bees are actually very mellow. And so you'll see that they don't usually, if you get like into like a bee rescue, like a TikTok or anything like that, or you get to go visit a bee farm, know that people will get stung, but it's usually not that bad. Honeybees are not big stingers. When they are fighty, usually there's a reason behind that. A lot of that would be food sourcing concerns and struggle for territory, or if they've lost their queen, or they're trying to grow their brood. Bees can become aggressive in those instances, but for the most part, bees are really mellow, and you'll see that they'll go right in and just like scoop the bees right in there with their hands, scoop and done. It was really fascinating. I think bees are infinitely interesting. So, and for the record, I am allergic to bees and yellow jackets. Not the regular allergic where you get your bee sting and it welts up and it hurts for a day or so. I mean the anaphylactic kind. So I'm very cautious around the bees just in case, but I'm very respectful. And Carrie reiterates that bees will only sting if the bees feel threatened. He says when the honeybee stings, they die after the sting because it pulls out their stinger. Right. Yeah, so it's their activity of last resort. They're usually pretty much in a panic if they're stinging. Oh, and the warden says she just found out Walter Goggins is in Fallout. Guess we're gonna watch that. I love Fallout, but I also loved all the games. And playing through the games gives me extra context that I think is really helpful to the story. Uh, mm, 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 mm. Sorry for the quiet spots while I eat my food. Let me tell you, outstanding. I am. It was just what I wanted. I feel like I'm forgetting other things. So I don't know. If whatever it was I was going to tell you, I did completely forget it. It's gone. Let's see. And Carrie says for some reason he had Fallout on his feed in YouTube. The person opens up food that has been in storage for a long time, and it's interesting. Yeah. Oh, there's lots of cool stuff in Fallout, and if you ever get a chance to play any of the games, all I can tell you is explore everything, even if it seems unimportant. Just go through everything, touch everything, look at everything, explore everything. let the game take you forever. So, okay, so that was my convention update. I told you about SakaiCon. I'm excited for it, you guys. And I'm more excited, too, that I get to go to Dayton and see some beloved friends that I don't get to see very often anymore. So, I mean, that's also a big bonus. And the warden says, that's why gaming takes so long, just doing all of the exploring. Yeah, I'm playing Disco Elysium. And it does take a long time. I think I know that some people like power through it and just like advance the story. And I'm like, nah, I gotta talk and I gotta have all the conversations and I gotta do all the side quests and I gotta go and find all the things. So, crazy. Oh, and Jen says, my hair is so long. Am I growing it out? Why, yes, and welcome. I have been growing it out. I'm maintaining the undercut though while I grow it out so that I can stay relatively cool during the summer. So this part, it's ready to be shaved again, but I'm going to let it go for a little bit. But I am growing out the top. I don't know why, but I thought I just felt like it. I thought I would try and see how it goes. And the warden says she always ended up with so many side quests. Yes, I like to do all of them. And Carrie's asking, what game console do I think he should buy when he can one day? Then Radical. Okay, so honestly, the choice of game console was a really personal one. What you have to know is what you have to decide is what kind of games you like and what kind of designers that you've known in the past, things that you've really enjoyed. And then you buy the game console that has the most of those games. If you like first-person shooter, shoot 'em up type games, then you want to go with an Xbox. If you like a highly interactive stuff or old school games or portable games to take with you, then you want to switch. If you like really intense and incredibly detailed, glorious storytelling games, PlayStation all the way. Carrie says being bald, he can't do anything with his hair. I know, you could get some fun wigs. So let's see. And Sharon says the last of the bacon is now done, wrapped and in the fridge. Ooh, huzzah! Good job. I look forward to going and looking at the pictures that you've been posting. And then Carrie says he likes puzzles for game or games challenges. So you actually may be best off with just getting your good PC. Maintain your PC and get it some good graphic cards. You'd probably like. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be your go-to is just to maintain your PC versus getting consoles for video games. And the warden says that's why she liked Dragon Age, because they built in so many variations in the game. I'm thinking I might pick up Skyrim again, but I had a bad experience. So, I can't go and finish what I was actually doing because when I had my lengthy, many accomplishments games, I then did a screw up and accidentally murdered my spouse. And so now, I know this sounds so traumatic, but yeah, so like I murdered my spouse, and now the street child that we had brought into the home is mad at me and like yells at me when I go into the house if I want to, and like all my stuff is there. So like, well, I'm just going to not play this one. Like I screwed up big time. You can't undo that. So I might start over. I also really enjoyed Baldur's Gate 3. Man, that was a lot of fun. And I think I could play through with a lot of, with different characters and different variations. Oh, Jen's also playing Baldur's. Got halfway through Act 3 and then started over because she didn't like the choices she made. Yeah, I'm notorious for doing that. That's something that I can do with this Disco Elysium too, is play through a few different variations using the different characters and then also customizing my own. Pardon me. I don't know. Maybe that's why they tell you don't eat seeds. Occasionally you'll inhale one and choke. But yeah, I will tell you that Disco Elysium is not for the faint of heart, and it has a lot of seedy adult content. So, you know, it's rated R, 100%, and parts of it are distressing, and I don't like that. But then there's the part of me that's like, you know what? I want to do a bad run, a run where I am just the absolute worst. Like, if I could go any lower, I'm going there. I might try that at some point because I'm always curious as to how that stuff goes. I do that in Stardew Valley. I did a bad person run. If you haven't played Stardew Valley, it's like supposed to be like a super cute little farm and, getting to know the town and saving it from the evil JoJo Corporation and an uplifting community and all of that kind of stuff. So, but what I did was all of the bad things. Like I exposed the mayor for infidelity, and I infested the town with evil slimes, and then I married the local shopkeeper's daughter, but then I went into business with the JoJo Corporation, which ultimately destroys the community center and puts him out of business in a bad way. And then I divorced his daughter after that. And then I dated everybody in the town at once so that they all got mad and basically ostracized me. I'm like, that was a horrible, horrible run of a game, but it was ultimately hilarious that it lets you do it. So every so often you got to do these things. Then I went back and I fixed everything and did a nice farm like I'm supposed to. So. And the warden says she loved the Guild Wars. Yeah, Guild Wars was awesome. And Coda Bear says I'm an agent of chaos. That's right. That's why that's my favorite phrase. Chaotic neutral means never having to say you're sorry. You do what you got to do. Oh, The Witcher was amazing. Yes, I loved Witcher. I also liked Assassin's Creed. So those were great games. So you guys, it's almost 7, and I'm gonna go and demolish this plate. It's not gonna be pretty, but I really enjoyed spending time with you, and I hope you learned something about tuna. And I hope that you're not afraid to eat it anymore. I forgot to tell you something. Canned tuna. Go ahead and eat it. It's okay. But if you want to spend like some extra dollars and get like some really amazing, get the tuna in the jar. They're like little fillets in olive oil. Be careful. Make sure you get the good ones and not the ones like in soybean or canola oil. You want the ones that are the tuna fillets in with salt and olive oil. And I believe Kroger has one of those. And the other place to get it is Wild Planet. Also, there's a canned tuna fillets, crispy cuts. Bluegrass Girl turned me onto those. Oh my God. Amazing. So that's it. Now you have all your tuna information. See you later. Bye-bye.